We're a day late on recording this week, so that means we're actually recording it during the Thursday night game. DJ, this is probably going to be a very, very stupid question, but do you have action on this?
You know I got action on this, man. I got all the action. I just got ruined by Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, of all people, runs a touchdown, and yeah, I've got action. Absolutely.
So you're already losing on a couple of bets. Should we just start drinking and just see where it takes us?
Absolutely.
Well, then let's get loaded, because this is the Loaded Box Podcast,
where we never finish first because we finish last. Could you hear that?
Yeah, I was going to say, welcome back to the Loaded Box Podcast, where DJ Primo is Primo. I'll use your name in there at opening that damn bottle of beer next to the microphone, and that's the ASMR. Oh, I always get the middle ones mixed up, but that was good. I got to take lessons after last week's failure.
You know what? This one was a twist off, so you just got to go with the line and Kugels and twist that thing.
Oh, that's where I failed, and that's how you cheated. But welcome back. It is week 3. We are recording this during Thursday Night Football, so if you hear some outburst from the person that's not talking, you'll know that we probably either won or lost a bet. But speaking of winning bets, DJ, did you happen to see last week we combined to go 7-2 against the spread?
Yeah.
Seems like everyone should probably just fade us this week, percentages equal out at some point.
It's the first 3 weeks. We're still good for one more at least.
The best thing about that as well is we went 7-2, and you were the reason for the 2. You're looking at a guy that went 4-0 last week. DJ, you went 3-2. We're both
check the units.
Check the units. I know I went very slight on that. You actually ended up finishing more positive units than I did last week. But
I doubled up my previous weeks.
If you can do that every week, you can quit doing life the way you're currently doing and just gamble.
I'm upset because I let the people down. I didn't do Friday Night Lines, and I was profitable all weekend, all the way through Monday. On Monday, I made so much money betting the Packers game. During the game, I bet the live line at halftime. It was 3. Packers were favored by 3.5. So I smashed that, hit the 3.5, hit the 11.5, hit the parlay with the over in the 11.5.
I'm going to go back to you being a terrible friend, because if I'd have known that the Packers were only favored by 3 or 3.5 at halftime, I'd have smashed that too. Why don't you text me?
What? I mean, it's just common sense, bro.
It is what it is. But for the year to date, I am 6-3. You are 7-5. So we're doing work right now. We're giving out free money at this point in time. So hey, what the hell? Let's jump right into week 3's action. DJ, I'm gonna have you kick this thing off with the Packers, who we just talked about. This is a Sunday night game?
No. Wait, you said the Packers? Yes, that's a Sunday night game. So
all right.
If you follow along with me, I was looking at my first. Why do you always make me start with my favorite team?
Because I figure you're more fresh right now, and you're really wanting to get your takes out on the Packers.
The reason I put them at the bottom of the list on here is so that we talk about them last. I literally did it in the order that I wanted in it. So I guess I'm talking about the Packers. If you've been paying attention, obviously my higher unit bets are my more confident bets. It seems like if I'm over if I'm going half a unit, so 0.5 or higher, you should probably smash that bet right now because I'm hot. I am taking the Green Bay Packers, obviously. I took the over last week, so I didn't do a homer pick. I gave you guys the over. Cash that winner. You're welcome. I'm taking the Packers plus 3.5 as San Fran. They haven't looked good. I mean, they gave up a big lead to Detroit. We did the opposite, and I don't like to do football, Matt, but we took a big lead in this second half of the game, and then San Francisco just didn't look good great to me this last week. Who did they play?
They played the Eagles. I think it was like 17-11 or something fairly low scoring on both ends.
Right, and
the defense was good.
And one thing I know that not a lot of non-Packer fans would know is there's a little change in the Green Bay Packers defense. I don't think people will be. They'll probably still run well, but not run as wild as they have in this Packers San Francisco game. So I think it's going to be a little bit more manageable. And I think Rodgers is just going to pick apart this defense. I'm going money line on this game. I'm going to give you plus 3.5 though.
Oh, for your official pick, you're taking
official
the spread.
Pick.
Okay,
I will bet the money line. I'm just telling everybody I'm going to bet the money line on this game. But you take the 3.5, you get a field goal. They're not losing this game. They're going 2-1. And the Packers are slowly working into their season. They had not a single starter play, not a single starter. The defense has a new coordinator. They're still figuring it out. Kevin King is benched after that game. Eric Stokes played awesome in the second half. I'm confident he lost his position during that game. But I think I know there's an adjustment that they're making where the run won't be as prevalent. Like every carry won't be at least 6 yards.
I have one question and one question only for you in regards to this bet, and it's like
0.7. What did I put? 0.5.
0.7
units. I'm that confident.
Here's my question for you, though. It's why are you doing this to yourself? You know what happens every single time this team takes a trip to San Francisco.
No, it's
West.
Francisco. No, we smashed them last year.
Did they win last year?
We did. I don't even know if we went out to San Francisco, but we beat them. I think we might have played them at home.
Oh, maybe it was, but I'm just talking about that playoff game.
Yeah, the 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and it was the regular season. I think they went out against the Chargers that year as well and just were terrible. Yeah. Every time this team goes out west, Aaron Rodgers grows his hair a little bit more. He gets a little bit more in his eyes.
Yeah, but they already have one loss early in the season. It's not going to happen. They're starting to they're slowly building up. They're going to make Jimmy Garoppolo try to beat them the same way they would with Jared Goff, and it's going to backfire in San Francisco.
Are you overconfident after they beat the Lions? Like, no, that's one other thing I have to ask you as well.
After they went 13-3 the last 2 years and been one game from the Super Bowl and still have the same fucking quarterback and team.
I just saw how they played against the Saints and then what the Saints did the following week against the Panthers. And honestly, the Lions were getting the shit blown off of them in week one until the last half of the fourth quarter. The Lions aren't good. The Packers finally look good in the second half of the last game.
It's 2 games in. They're 13-3. They're 26-6 over the last 2 years. Matt LaFleur has the best winning percentage in the NFL right now. And what do you mean finally? Like finally they've been doing this for 2 years. It's the third year. Nothing has changed, bro. We already have evidence of a team that's really good and should have been in the Super Bowl last year.
I need them to prove it on the West Coast before I even consider touching this game. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just no playing. Fair?
No, that's not fair.
Prove it. You got to prove it to me.
Put them in your teaser.
I don't have a teaser this week. I'm so pissed at myself.
I know I should. Oh, I was going to do a little surprise for the people at the end. I'll do that. I'll work on that while I didn't want to put it on the board. I didn't want Ben to ruin it, but I'm going to have a little surprise for the people because I hit it last week.
Fair enough. Well, after I went 4-0 last week, the first one I'm giving you people again. I mean you listeners. I went 0.2 on all my units for last week, and it worked out. So I'm sticking to that again for this one. I've got the Titans -5 versus the Colts. DJ, I don't know if you've heard yet, but
hold on. What Ben just said has made me realize he is a true degenerate gambler because that's how our brains work. Like if something's working, I'm going to keep doing it. So he did 0.2 units last week. If he didn't do 0.2 units on every game this week, I wouldn't think he was an actual gambler yet. And that made me know he's made it.
I've got 2 and 2. I actually didn't go 0.2 across the board, but I'll explain why when I get to the other ones. But where I was going right away was, DJ, I don't know if you've heard yet, but Carson Wentz has injuries to every single ankle that you can have an injury to.
I know. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. He's basically the younger version of Ben Roethlisberger.
Exactly. Even if he does play, there's no chance that that's going to end particularly well. And the Titans, guess what? They finally showed life in the second half of that game last week, and they beat a very good Seattle Seahawks team. Whereas the Colts, they've kind of looked like meh the entire year. And I think we saw Derrick Henry get going. That's what you need to do. And there was a stat about Derrick Henry in like his last however many games against the Colts where he has just been running all over them. Well, guess what? You start doing that. We saw Julio come to life last week. We know it's just a matter of time until A.J. Brown has his huge game. I'm not worried about this game. It's in Tennessee. I'm going to get this line at 5 before it goes any higher than that. So, yeah, I am the degenerate. I am the one that believes in the superstitions. I'm going 0.2 units because, damn it, it works.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I wouldn't want it any other way. I think I did 0.7, 0.5, whatever, like similar to what I did last week because I was like, well, that panned out fairly well. I mean, if you go to a certain gambler, if you use a certain strategy, you use that strategy when it's working until it fails. and then your whole life's purpose is to find another strategy that works for a while.
And then you jump ship so fast until you find the next vessel to float on.
Yeah, exactly. That's just the brain of a degenerate. Yeah, I was going to bet Tennessee. I just was a little bit worried coming off of that battle, all that comeback. Did you see Taylor Lewan got injured before the game?
I did not.
He was warming up, and he got injured warming up before the game. He didn't even play.
Unbelievable.
That's the definition of a non-contact injury. But
I guess. That's like Tyrod Taylor getting his lung pierced.
Yeah, and that guy's injured now, too. I don't understand. So, like, Carson Wentz, I don't understand how these guys that get injured, like, in stupid ways, like Wentz, it just keeps happening. Like, I expected him. If there was, like, someone told me that a quarterback sprained both ankles at the same time, I'd either say Roethlisberger or Wentz. Those would be two of the choices I make.
Yeah, I'm 100% Wentz now that, like, Mark Sanchez isn't in the league. It's definitely Carson Wentz for me.
Yeah, it's one of those two. That's one of the two answers. Like, two chances. And then, like, Tyrod Taylor, he can't play. He'll never start more than a couple of games anymore because he just has the worst luck with injuries.
Either injured or he's going to get pulled for a rookie quarterback.
Oh, DJ Moore is going to go fucking off tonight. That's already 3 catches since I've been watching.
I told you we were going to have outbursts, and I actually think that might be his 4th because I think you may have missed one. But anyway, I'm excited about your next bet. I almost carded this one. DJ, you got to play in the Chargers-Chiefs game, and I think you're on the right side of history on this one.
Again, I may be like feeling a little bit of – I've been feeling the Chargers like preseason. I've been hot on them. They did just lose to Dallas in a tight game. In a game that the historic Chargers would lose, but in a tight game. Not in the Chargers way, though. So I think they're not the Chargers of Phillip Rivers old. I think they've gotten past that.
I don't know if they have, man. It doesn't end for them.
No, they would have lost the first game.
They would have lost week 1. You're right.
Yes. So they're at Kansas City. I love the Chargers. You give me 6 full points with this new revamped Chargers team against a team that can pass rush and play defense, especially they can really get to the passer. It's a game that I don't think Mahomes is going to be able to get away with running around and being a little bit wild like he has been. He's got himself in trouble with that a couple of times. I mean, Murray has as well, but Herbert's going to have all day. 6 points for a really good football team wanting to prove themselves with Justin Herbert, who this guy has a fucking laser arm. Like, he's legitimately really good. Like, he was making throws across the field, like opposite that he shouldn't be making because they're bad throws, but he just has his arm talent that like lots of guys just don't have. He has the ability to do that.
No, he's like Josh Allen. He's just a chooch, man.
Yeah, he's incredible.
It doesn't take like a Ryan Fitzpatrick windup either. It's literally from the ear, and he can just dart the shit out of it.
He'll throw 40 yards across the field and like 20 yards downfield, and it's just a laser every time where guys struggle. Like Tua would not be making that throw.
Oh God, we can't go an episode without a criticism.
Yeah, that's a fact. I think they win this game. This is another money line game for me personally, but you have to take this +6. This is my favorite bet of the weekend. 0.7 units on the Chargers here.
I thought you had 0.5.
0.5 units. Second favorite bet.
You goddamn liar. No, I don't know why I didn't card this one. I say it every week. This might be the old Sunday morning tickle play. I might have to do this. I like the dog in this one. That's a lot of points. It's at Kansas City, so I'm not a huge fan of that. But remember with the Chiefs, I was trying to look it up while you were talking there. They were not great against the spread last year. I couldn't find the whole thing.
No, they were bad.
From week 9 on, they were 7-1 straight up. They went 1-7 against the line in that. What I said last year, and I still feel the same way this year. Why I didn't card this, you always feel like an idiot betting against the Chiefs just because of how explosive that offense can be. But I think that might be something I have to put in the rear view. Like it's time. If you're getting this many points against a quality team, knowing that the Chiefs play in these close games, I'm with you. I'm not going to go money line. I can't do the money line, but this is a Sunday morning. This is a Sunday morning. I'm going to add one to the card, and maybe I wait it out. Maybe I even buy a half point or a point and kick it up to 7. Like I'd feel even better then. I don't know if it's naturally going to move that long, but I like this. I like I said, I can't believe I didn't card this. This is my favorite play of yours of the week.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, let's move on to my next one. I have got the New England Patriots at home, favored by just 2.5 against the Saints. DJ, as you called me out earlier, the degenerate in me, I'm making this one a 0.2 unit play as well. Man, crushed that Panthers over Saints prediction last week. That was the simplest money that could have been made last week. And if you remember back, my theory was I'm not a believer in the Saints still. I'm believing my preseason prediction on them. And if they're going to go up against a pretty good defense, which the Panthers have, and now they're going to play against the Patriots, who just picked off Zach Wilson 4 times, they might go back-to-back with 4 interception games because Jameis Winston loves turning the ball over as well. I put this one in today at 2.5. I don't want it to get up to 3 or 3.5. I just think that they're going to run into the best defense they've played yet. And every single game that Mac Jones plays, he's just getting a little bit more experience. He's getting a little bit more comfortable. I know he's not making crazy ass plays that's going out and winning teams games, but they have enough of an offense and they're protecting him enough where he's not going to be the reason that they lose it either. And it's the Saints. I don't believe in them yet. I don't believe in them at all. This is a gift at home by less than 3. The bookies made a mistake.
I don't think so. I don't think the Patriots are that. I've decided the Patriots aren't that good. If they have to kick 1,000 field goals against the Jets,
it happens.
The Jets, and Zach Wilson's throwing 1 million interceptions, that was a struggle for them to score in general. I don't think the Patriots are very good. I don't think the Dolphins are very good. I don't think the Jets are very good. This is the Bills division. They're going to run away with it.
And they're only 1-1.
Right, but they're just gonna run away with it. And I'm not a believer in the Patriots after like watching a little bit more of them. I'm like, they're not. Everybody wants to crown them because of Bill Belichick, but I think they're thinking like your brain is poison. You need to stop thinking like that. You need to get out of that mindset. I not just you. Most people that are going to be watching or listening to this need to get out of this mindset that the Patriots are good. I don't think the Saints are as bad as what they were this last week. I don't think they're as good as what they were. I know for a fact they weren't as good as what they were against the Packers, but they're not as bad as what they played this last week either. And Jameis is bipolar. So I'm not going to get all this credit to Mac Jones. The Patriots struggled. I mean, they beat him pretty good, but they just they got 4 turnovers and just could only get field goals out of everything. It was, I'm kind of embarrassed for them.
They stalled. I give you that, but that's not going to happen every single week. And you know what's fresh in my mind? After week 1's fumble by Damian Harris, there was a chance, not that we wouldn't see him on the field again, but that we just wouldn't see him in life again. Remember what happened to Jonas Gray after he scored like 4 touchdowns for Bill Belichick once? He disappeared from the face of the earth. I kind of thought that might end up happening to Damian Harris, but instead, on one single carry, he broke 700 tackles. That's what's fresh in my mind. No one's tackling that guy. The Saints aren't going to be able to hang. They're not going to settle for just field goals. The Saints aren't going to score that much. And this is going to be an easy bet. I should put more on it, but the 0.2 unit thing is working for me, and I'm not about to jinx myself.
Good luck.
Thanks. DJ, before we get into your next bet, I want to remind the folks at home that grilling season is 100% not over. Did you grill this last weekend?
No.
What the hell are you doing?
I got really drunk on Friday night and I couldn't really move on Saturday, but I went to a grill Saturday night. So somebody did grill. I just wasn't me.
Fair enough. It is getting colder. If you're watching on Twitter or YouTube, I'm wearing a sweatshirt, man. We're in Wisconsin. It is getting colder, but that doesn't push me away from the grill whatsoever. And I'm just in love with grilling right now just because I'm grilling the best that I've grilled in my entire life, thanks in large part to a ManGrate. And you can get 25% off your grates and brushes over at mangrate.com by using promo code LOADED. It's going to cook your meat evenly throughout. You're not going to have anything sticking to the grate. You're going to have those perfect grill marks. Everything you do on the grill is going to be better, thanks in large part to ManGrate. So head over to mangrate.com, use promo code LOADED, get 25% off your grates and your brushes. DJ, this next one, you actually do have a money line bet that you're sharing with the listeners.
Yeah, I'm going LA Rams money line versus the Buccaneers. This is by far, obviously, the best matchup that the Buccaneers have played so far this year. They've obviously dominated in their 2 games, but they've legitimately played just not quality opponents in comparison to just regular football teams. LA Rams are legit. Matt Stafford's legit. Where is it? This game is in LA too, isn't it?
I believe it is. Yeah,
it is because I put versus. So it's in LA. I like Stafford to come into this game. It's going to be fun to watch. I wish this was the Sunday night game, to be honest with you. Is it the Monday night? No, that's the Eagles. I wish
think it's the 325 game on Fox, I believe.
Oh, it's the America's game of the week.
Yeah.
I really like everything about the Rams. Their defense is incredible, like in every area. Matt Stafford's hooking up with Cooper Kupp all over the field. It's sexy. It's hot. It's turning me on. They can just do anything they want right now. I really do believe that. The secondary for Tampa Bay is really weak, so I think Stafford's going to be able to feast on that. And Tampa Bay is not going to just go off against this. I really do believe that this game, Tampa Bay is going to struggle to score points in this game. I really do, because they're not facing the same opponents that they have faced in these first two games.
I think everyone looks at this game and sees like, dude, these are like two of the best passers right now in the league. And Tom Brady has 9 touchdowns, and he's got to be top 5 in yards. I think Derek Carr leads the NFL in passing yards right now, which is kind of funny. But you're just looking at two offenses right now that have entered the 2021 season just clicking. And I think everyone sees this and just thinks points galore. I'm looking at the over-under right now. It's 55.5. I'm almost tempted to take the under, just thinking that these defenses are going to be up for this. And it's just kind of opposite of what we think sometimes. It's not a letdown. It's just things don't always go the way that everyone anticipates them going. And 55.5 is a lot of points. If it's 3-0 after the first quarter, you're going to be looking pretty damn good with the under. I almost went under on this one. I don't mind either side. I don't know how you could mind either side. I mean, the spread is 1.5.
They beat the Cowboys by 2 in week 1. LA is better than them, but their defense is bad. Like Dallas's defense is bad. And then they just played an embarrassing Falcons
Atlanta team.
Stayed in the game at one point in the game, and it really wasn't as big. It ended up being like a 20-point game. It wasn't that far out. Matt Ryan started to make some plays, and then he made the opposite of some plays.
I don't mind either side on this one. I can't disagree with either side. If I was going to make a play on this one, I think I would take the under. This is another one. See how the rest of Thursday night goes. See how Sunday day games go. This one isn't starting until 3:25 our time. We're going to know how we're doing. Maybe you sprinkle a little under action. That'd be my advice.
No, I got money line plus 105.
Not bad.
0.3 units. I mean, I just couldn't bet the spread, because it was like, why would I not take money line when it's this close of a spread? So just for the sake of being smart, like, you're paying less juice. You're not paying any juice on the money line, and you're basically getting a 1.5 point spread or something like that.
Yep,
you're betting it, and you're paying 110 for the juice. That's stupid. Just bet the money line.
Yep. No, absolutely.
Common sense. Common
good
gambling
insight
sense.
there, DJ.
Thank you.
Here's my next one, and this is where I started wimping out. I backed off my 0.2 unit, so if you're going to fade me, this is where you start.
This is embarrassing. You should put 0.0 units on this game.
If you're looking at the scroll, you know what DJ's talking about. This is one I just kind of got a gut feeling on, to be honest with you. I can't give you much in regards to stats, data, analytics that backs this play. This is a gut feeling. I'm taking the New York Jets plus 10 versus the Broncos, 0.1 unit. So that shows you I'm not overly confident in this by any means. I'm betting what we consider to be the minimum on this. So take that for what it's worth. There's a stat, though, DJ, about rookie quarterbacks coming off of games when they've thrown 4+ interceptions. What happened now?
Zach Wilson's groin is like tweaked.
Yeah, he's young. He'll bounce back. Babyface.
True.
All right. The stat is something like, after a rookie quarterback has thrown 4 or more interceptions in a game, those quarterbacks have never lost the next week. And you know what? It's never going to work where that happens every single week.
They get stuffed?
I think they did. Houston and Carolina game update right there. It looks like the Panthers were stuffed on 4th and goal inside the 5.
Why was Chuba? I don't understand.
Got to mix it up every once in a while.
I guess.
But here's the thing. I don't mind the Broncos. As you know, I'm kind of like weirdly a fan of the Broncos, but it's not like they're not overwhelming me at this point. And the Jets aren't either, but 10 is a lot of points on the road. You just think about this one. And Zach Wilson is coming off of the 4 interception game. They did stay close to New England, but it still wasn't obviously there was no such thing as a great loss. And DJ, you're probably noticing it right now. It's hard for me to sell this. What this is to me is everyone's going to be against the Jets. You're getting 10 points, and God, the Jets have to bounce back a little bit. The Jets have to bounce back a little bit. And
No, they
are the
don't.
Broncos going to go 3-0? Yeah, they probably will go 3-0. But are they just going to cruise in this one? Do you think they just cruise?
I don't know. I mean, I tried this against the Jags with the Jags last week, and it backfired on me. So I'm just not going to try it again with the Broncos.
Fool me once kind of deal?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that mistake. I literally just did this with the Jags, thinking they would keep it tight, and they didn't. Christian McCaffrey is in the medical kit again, getting his vagina checked.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably why Chuba was in there. I knew that as you looked down that you got the same sleeper alert that I did. So I swear to God, do this. If you're going to bet this game, bet it very small. Don't fricking put your mortgage on it. Don't put your kid on it.
Is it a 12 o'clock game?
Do a little bit. What time does this? No, this is a 3 o'clock game.
Oh, that sucks. It needs to be buried in the 8 to 9 noon games, and we never need to see it. That's what I prefer. Like the games like this need to be buried in noon games.
I don't mind. You should get really risky and take the Jets money line. It's plus 440.
End up betting it because it's probably one of the 4 games in the afternoon. I'm be like, oh well, there's only 4.
Right.
Might as well bet all of them.
Might as well do them all. All right, DJ. That wasn't a very underwhelming game. I knew it would be. That's why I put it.
Yeah, I'm very underwhelmed
where I did it. Let's go to your next one in the Washington Buffalo game.
All right, this is my least favorite bet of all of them, and this is again I'm not like. It's, I guess, a good game, but Taylor Heineke's playing, so it's not. But Washington has a good defense. Buffalo also has a good defense. Naturally, with that 45, anytime I see something for between 43 and 45, I automatically think under because I think a lot of people are like, oh, that looks like a nice little over total. But it's just in that in between mark. We're going 45.5. Washington's gonna. I mean, like I said, they've got their backup quarterback in Taylor Heineke in. They struggle to score anyways. That's just what they do. They play defense. They slow the game down. They remind me of kind of Iowa, Wisconsin football, where they're trying to just grind you down by defense, run the ball type of deal. And I know the Bills don't run it, but the Washington's defense, I just feel is good enough to at least keep people a little bit slower no matter what. And obviously the Bills defense is really good. I mean, this is one of those games where it's we could be through the first 2 quarters and it's I don't know what time that game's at either, but we're 30 minutes into the day.
That's a noon game.
Yeah, so it's 12:45, 1 o'clock, and we're already going into halftime of that game. While other teams have 10 minutes left in the second quarter, type of deal. So I'm taking a risk here. 0.1 unit, going under that 45.5. Washington's defense is good enough to just slow everybody down, and they don't really have a choice with Heineke but to keep it slow.
I don't mind that play at all. I actually considered that exact play. The only other thing I thought about this game is with the Bills being favored by 7, if I end up doing 2-team tease, I'll take the Bills down to 1 and I'll find another team and tag it into that. Also real quick that I just noticed after I pulled something up here, DJ, I've got the Chiefs -7. So you might want to check that out on your site here pretty soon here and see if you can't get that while it's still at 7 versus 6.
Let me go see what I have. I have it up right now. Chiefs -7. Oh, fuck. I might have to plug that in.
There you go. And we'd like to say hi to Ryan Miner, 8.
Hi, Ryan Miner.
Put on the screen there. He wanted to say hi, guys. So hi back to you, Ryan. Anyone else that's watching, by all means, feel free to let us know. We'll pop your little message on the screen. We'll answer a question. We'll talk dirty to you. Whatever you need, we're here for. But DJ, that's what I would do with this one. I don't mind that under. I get a little bit nervous. It's kind of like betting a Chiefs game under. The Bills' offense is that good, and it hasn't been unleashed yet. It was totally wrapped up by the Steelers in week 1. And honestly, yeah, they beat the Dolphins 35-0. They should have scored 50.
Yeah.
This is going to sound crazy, giving up 35 points. Miami's defense didn't play that bad.
Yeah, I mean, they have 3-4 turnovers?
Just unbelievable, how that game played out. But that's the only thing that makes me nervous there. I do agree with everything you said about both of these defenses. I like them both. But if I had a play, which I probably will come Sunday morning, I'll tease the Bills down to 1, and I'll find one other thing to add to it, and then I'll make that part of my 2-team teaser. DJ, I combined our last bet because we're both on the same game. We just have different components of it.
Ooh.
It's the Cardinals and the Jags. I'm going over 52, and you're going to take a lot of points here. Cardinals.
I will lay every single second of that.
Cardinals are favored by 7.5. You're going 0.2. This is another one I'm just tickling for the sake of tickling because I kind of like it. I'm going 0.1. I'll let you start here on why you like the Cardinals over Urban Meyer's kind of train wreck so far.
Yeah, it's Urban Meyer. That's really what it is. He's a trash guy. He's gone in a few more weeks. So we only have a few more weeks of Urban Meyer before he heads off to USC and he's back in college where he belongs. This Jaguars team they need to they're not running the ball enough with James Robinson. They're trying to throw it a million times with Trevor Lawrence, and you're putting him in positions where he's throwing interceptions because you're not like setting him up to succeed. It's frustrating. Arizona Cardinals coming off of a loss. They're not coming off of a loss. Sorry.
A crazy, unpredictable win because the Vikings should have made that field goal.
Yes, it was a tight game, but they score a ton of points, and the Jags don't. Like they score a lot of points, and the Jags just don't score a lot of points. So I don't see how they keep up with them at all. He's so predictable. All he does is fucking throw the ball to Urban Meyer. He's setting up Trevor Lawrence to fail. It's very frustrating to sit here and watch that happen. But Arizona, high scoring, good-ish football team. It'll change. I'm going to change my tune on Arizona as we get further the season. Right now, they look good. Everybody loves Kyler Murray, even though he makes some stupid interceptions like he did in that game. He just throws some dumb balls. Like
that's his MO. That he does that. He does that though. That's kind of how he is. He makes the
guys are wide
plays.
open, and then if they're not wide open, he's throwing interceptions. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I don't want to get into like must-win conversation, but this is a big game for the Cardinals because they get the Jaguars and they can start 3-0 in probably the best division in football. And then you get the Rams, the 49ers, and the Browns. They could win this game and then easily go 3-3.
I'm predicting they will lose all three of those games. I'm telling you right now, Kyler Murray is not as good as what he looks to be right now because he's running around like an idiot, and good teams will not allow an undisciplined quarterback that's 5'9" to do that.
The crazy thing is too, then they get the Texans, which should be a win, but then they go back to back Packers 49ers.
Can't wait. So
things get real for them. I like the over more than the actual team play here. The half always scares me a little bit there when it's 7.5.
I don't care about the half. I don't care about anything. Give me 10 points. I'm laying it at this point.
Dude, the Cardinals scored 38 against the Titans, 34 against the Vikings. And while they did hold the
they should have lost to the Vikings. Yeah, and that's an issue.
They gave up 33 to the Vikings.
Yep.
That was a high-scoring game. I was all over that over last week, and by about halftime, I think I needed one more score. It was very nice. I'm pulling up the Jaguars here real quick, if you give me a second. So the Jags, they didn't score much last week. I'll give you that. They only scored 13 against the Broncos, but the Broncos have a much better defense. They got a much better defense than what the Cardinals possess.
Well,
and they did score 37.
They also didn't score that week.
Yeah, they scored 37 against the Texans, so they scored plenty. Did you hear that? The team that you're fucking asking about, the Jaguars.
Oh, they did? I didn't think they scored any.
Yeah, they just came back to life against the Broncos because the Broncos defense is much better. But you're going against the Cardinals defense, who I don't really think has improved enough. I mean, they've made changes that they need to in order to get in order to make it happen, but those pieces are still so young and inexperienced that it's going to take a little while. I see this game just being just a classic back and forth. I mean, think about this is Oklahoma Clemson, man. It's freaking Kyler Murray and Trevor Lawrence.
What are you, John Gruden?
Yeah, man. You said it though. Urban Meyer doesn't give a shit about running the ball right now. If he gets down 7 to 10 points, he's going to abandon that. He's just going to turn it over to Trevor, and they will score. They're just going to score against this team, though. Like, the Cardinals' defense isn't good enough. Trevor Lawrence might throw 2 or 3.
Jaguars aren't any good. We can't sit here and act like the Jaguars are good enough to score the ball. They just aren't good.
They will against the Cardinals. Trevor Lawrence will he'll throw his 2 or 3 interceptions, but he'll throw 2 or 3 touchdowns.
I had a buddy bet over 12.5 interceptions for Lawrence, and he's almost halfway there already. It's 5 interceptions he's got already, 2 games in.
Oh man, what was Zach Wilson's number at? We should have got him.
I don't know, but that's 12.5, man. He's gonna nail that.
Now, if this was Cardinals at like 6.5, then I'd be on your side. But with an over under of 52, that's a decent amount of points. I just think there's going to be points galore in this one. I think it's going to be very similar to that game like last week with the Cardinals and Vikings. Maybe not quite as crazy and maybe not quite as close, but the Cardinals might score more than what they scored in that
The Texans
game.
aren't scoring this game, I decided, and my over is not going to hit.
No, you can't count on the Texans to score. Sorry, not with a brand new rookie quarterback.
No thyroid.
He hardly had any college starts. Davis Mills,
yeah.
You can't bet the over in this. That just shows how much of a degenerate you are. You saw it was Thursday and you loaded up your gambling site. That's all you did.
I got to do Thursday, man. I got to go over every time. I went the over 8 and sorry, just the Panthers and the over.
I don't mind that. What was the spread? 8?
Yeah, and I'm not scared of it at all.
Not scared. Okay. Well, McCaffrey, hopefully he's getting better, and he kind of pulled up there with that leg.
No, I think he's dead.
Hamstring injury is out. NFL Network broadcast says not good.
And you drafted him in one of our leagues, right?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. And did you make a side bet then too in that game?
No, we didn't make it this week.
God, that's too bad.
God,
all right.
God. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yes.
Oh, I see a comment. Oh, Ryan's just letting us know that CMC is out. But
yes,
that's why you draft Chuba Hubbard, man. I told you Chuba was going to excel in an RB2 role with either the Saints or the Panthers. You watch out. He's going to just do just fine the rest of this game.
We'll see. I have the specialist back. I hit my money line parlay in real life last week. Closed out by the Titans' incredible comeback win. So I had to put the Titans in there because I took a bunch of favorites, and then I had to put the Titans in there to bump it up. I was panicking. They came back. They won by a field goal. I celebrated. Profitable week. I had a weekend. So for the people, I'm bringing back the money line parlay. This one's going to be a tough one, but we're going to get this one. We're going to be battling for this one. This one ends. It's a 5-team true odds parlay plus 925 straight money line, though.
Jesus.
We are going Arizona Cardinals over the Jaguars. That's a win. Baltimore Ravens over the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
That's a win. Buffalo Bills over the Washington Football Club, FC. That's a win. And this is where it gets tricky, people. Los Angeles Rams over the Buccaneers. This is where it starts to get boosted, though. This is where you make your money. And Green Bay Packers over the San Francisco 49ers plus 925. Let's fucking win some money.
So plus 925, is that going to be an official podcast play as well? Got to have it on record. Or is that just a bonus piece of advice?
I'm just giving people the money line parlay, and I just entered it I just entered it. It's in. It's in. I just locked it in too. Just so you guys know that I'm betting it, I put it in.
Now you just got to follow it up and get that +7 on that Chiefs and Chargers game, and you'll be set.
Yeah, I do need to do that.
Beautiful. I love the improv. I love the money line parlay, especially when it's 5 teams and you're almost plus 1,000. That's pretty fantastic.
Great.
DJ, we're going to move on to Thursday Night Football here. Do you have anything else you'd like to add before we focus our attention to Chuba Hubbard and the Carolina Panthers?
100% Friday Night Lines tomorrow, probably around 5 o'clock. No, that's a fact. Probably around 5 o'clock-ish. I have to go a little early because I think I'm going to do dinner, college football, NFL, cash those winners in, check me out. I'll tweet beforehand. Let's go.
And I'll believe it when I see that. And with that, check us out on Twitter @LoadedBox. Check out loadedboxpodcast.com. All of our podcast episodes, our start sits, our waivers, our dynasty trades, our DFS bargain plays, everything we do can be found there. Next week, we'll be back for week 4. We're available everywhere. DJ, send us out.
Bye.